What is up, GOAT World? It is me, your boy JDZ, and I'm back at you again with another GOAT format video. Today I have the top 8 deck list from PWCQ number 44. It took place this past Saturday, and it was a banger from beginning to end. Huge shout out to all the duelists that showed up and participated. We had 54 duelists playing in this event today. Unfortunately, I was not able to cover the PWCQ 43. Shout out to all those duelists. Fresh IRL won that event. Those deck lists are up on the website. If you haven't had a chance, go to GoFormat.com, check those out, as well as these deck lists. They're also going to be on GoFormat.com. Check these out as well. But I just want to kind of give you my thoughts and opinions on these top 8 deck lists. There was some absolute spice in this tournament as we were getting close to the end of the season. I wasn't thinking I was going to see any more spice, but here we are with some very cool spicy decks to end the season with. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring you those deck lists right now. But first, make sure you go ahead and like this video and subscribe to this channel. We are almost at 8,000, and I would appreciate your support if we can get to that momentous milestone. All right, let's hopping on in. At number 8, we have the Duelist going by Nikolai6886, aka Lennel, on Dueling Book, playing the GOAT control strategy. And oh man, I love me some GOAT control. Every time I see the GOAT control strat, I just kind of light up because it is one of my favorite decks. It's a deck that I use quite often, and they also are playing one of my favorite little packages. They got the Tom Abyss in the building with the Mystic Tomato and the Abyss Soldier in harmony. Mystic Tomato gets the Saiyan, gets the Serpent, and it all just kind of rolls together. They're also playing the creature swap, triple copy of Scapegoat, and I think that's pretty neat as well. You got creature swap, a lot of targets in the Scapegoats, in the Tsukiyomi. Additionally, they elected to play the Chaos Command Magician, bringing that dude out of retirement. I think that's pretty cool. It's very slept on effect. 1900 defense as well, can go a long way, Sook proof and whatnot, and it looks pretty damn cool as well. You know, no Knight Assailant, no Thousand Eyes Restrict, no Chaos Sorcerer, and no Exile Force. You know, things like that, cards that are typically played, and has that 2400 attack. I think that card is a sleeper. No MST in the main deck. I don't hate that either. Jumping on into the side deck, I elected to go with the Amazoness Archer. They got the King Tiger Wangu. I'm not sure about King Tiger Wangu in this type of build because you have so many things that it will conflict with naturally based on his own ability. I think Ashira Priest is a much better card for a deck like this, but again, maybe you're bringing that in against your Reasoning Gates and against maybe some of your burn stuff. Is, you know, that Walking Floodgate can probably go a long way, but I don't think I enjoy that too much. But having double Mobius, Spell Cancelers, Umbira, everything else seems pretty solid with the one Sakuretsu armor in the side deck. Double Solemn Judgment in the main deck. I think it's pretty clean. Double Book of Moon. This deck is pretty good. This deck seems like it's right up my alley. A deck that I would enjoy playing in a GOAT format Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. Shout out to Nikolai, and hopefully they can keep playing on and maybe they can get an invite. You know, the season is coming to an end and opportunities are getting slim. So if you want to get an invite, your time is running out. So congratulations to Nikolai for a top 8 finish, and we'll see what they got coming up as the season comes to a close. Okay, coming on in at number 7. At number 7, we have the Duelist Gibbon Nation coming on in out of a like a retirement stage. This Duelist has kind of taken a huge step back from GOAT format, moved on to the current game, playing some different formats, has a very busy life, but they found some time, decided to jump on in this event, just knock the cobwebs off and just get busy playing the Chaos Turbo strategy with the patent pending Gibbon Nation Desert Sunlight in the main deck. Card Destruction still in the main deck. He kind of did some testing and figured out some stuff that kind of get updated to the latest meta trends, and this is the deck they landed with, still on Wing Blast. I know they're big Wing Blast preferring duelists, so unfortunately they were not able to finish this tournament. They had some technological indifferences and they weren't able to play it out, but they had to get dropped, but still had enough wins to make it to a 7th place finish, and I think that's pretty solid. Hopefully, if this duelist was sticking around, like, I think this duelist has the skill set to be on that echelon of like beyond great player into like really top tier player. They're very cerebral, has a great working knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh! And how to play this game very well, and they just don't have the time to dedicate to it. So I think a lot of people are fortunate that this duelist can't stick around. In the side deck, you got the Mobius, you got the Zabor, you got the Zumbira. I don't know how I feel about the 2 meta 1 GOAT ratio in the side deck. That might be something like a field kind of thing. Triple Saku, double Solemn in the side. I don't hate that. You know, your opponent's playing Solemn, you can play Solemn. I think that's a cool thing to bring in. And also Torrential Tribute. Again, the two meta 1 GOAT ratio in the side. Maybe. I think that might be like a player preference, sense of feel kind of thing. Tell me what you think about that in the comment section down below. But a huge shout out to Gibbon Nation. Welcome back. Hopefully we see you more. And I think it's enough time for this duelist to get on in there if their schedule allows. All right, moving on to number 6. Number 6, we have Silver Dude, aka Silver, coming on in playing another Go Control strat in another unique and different way, the Silver Dude way. This deck looks very Silver like. I know Silver kind of gets, lambasted, and kind of people kind of poke fun at some of his theories and some of his ideas and techniques, but I'm feeling it too. I'm team Silver all the time. Every time Silver is spitting, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see where Silver's come from. Maybe not setting pot of greed, I don't know about that, but this right here is pretty neat because you have DD Assailant and you have triple smashing ground, kind of piggybacking off of some of the Florida man theory that Shaggy kind of had some success with in the previous Orlando tournament. I can kind of see what's happening. DD Assailant might be better now than it's been in quite a while because there are so many warriors around. There's so much earth aggro around. There's so many aggressive based strategies around. Having a card that is going to go 1-for-1 in battle is pretty good. Also, it's got that souk-proof body, thick defense. It's got a 1700 attack, and it can take out Chaos Sorcerer in attack position, take out BLS in attack position. It can do damage. It can pressure your opponent, and also when you're armed with 3 smashing grounds, you can get through spies generally. I mean, not easy, but still you have a way to get around Gravekeeper Spy, and this deck seems like it can be very aggressive, but also defend itself well with the bevy of traps that you have and the scapegoat. I don't hate this deck. I think this deck is pretty damn good. I really do. You have a generally low monster count. You're able to kind of get around trap dust shoot a little bit. And you can pressure. You can it seems like you can put a lot of damage up pretty quickly with this deck. It's something I like. I like this. I like what Silver's cooking up here. I think it's solid. I mean, a lot of people might make fun of me, for saying that, 'cause I think this deck is pretty neat. But looking in the side deck, he's got some old school ancient technology as well. We got the Chiron the Mage is making another appearance, a second copy of the Abyss Soldier. You have a Mystic Swordsman level 2. You have the double Soul X, so maybe you can play like a Soul X kind of situation. You can Soul X meta, Soul X Monarch. You have the Return from a Different Dimension. That's just too much. The Return is too much. I don't think Return is needed for this, but I mean, just throwing curveballs, man. You're just throwing curveballs. Silver just keeping people guessing, and it worked out, So I think Silver is onto something here. This is another Go Control deck. It looks very retro, very vintage, a lot of color. I think it's a cool looking deck, and it might be good too. There might be something to it. So huge shout out to Silver for a 6th place finish. I hope they continue to play as well, man. I think this is cool. All right. Moving on. We have a 5th place finish coming on in for Don't Copy. The FLC champion Don't Copy in 5th place, playing Chaos Turbo in their own unique and different way. I know this Duelist has kind of been on what we call that nicey turbo, that nicey strat, pretty much this whole season. Had some great success with that, and now I think they're just he's trying to stretching his legs and trying something different out here, going back to a more classic version of Turbo, something. And this is another model that I think I see a lot of Turbo players kind of theorizing about, how to kind of get around Trap Dust Shoot, because this card Trap Dust Shoot is literally defining our entire metagame right now. It's so prevalent and it's everywhere, and if you don't have a plan for it, you're going to be on the losing end of a lot of games, at least from what I'm seeing and what I'm observing in my own playing. Having triple Jar of Greed, triple Solemn Judgment, triple Trap Dust Shoot allows you to put more cards onto the field to keep your hand size below 4, but not fall behind in terms of card advantage. So I think that's not a bad theory. Having a lower monster count, this deck is usually plays 20. This one's only playing 18. Maybe that's another way that you can avoid being Trap Dust Shot, just not having monsters, and also being able to limit the amount of monsters in your hand. You put your Dekoichi down, they get knocked. Now you have 3 less monsters that you can potentially draw into that can't get sent back to your deck with Trap Dust Shoot. So I think that might be the theory. Maybe have those Jargarees, they're just set up on the field, and then once you feel like you need a little bit of extra momentum or something, or you cannot get Trap Dust Shot, you play it and just get a card later on and you stay at under 3. I think that's a pretty cool idea. So that's pretty neat. Got the Kaiku the Ghost Destroyers in the side deck. There's Umbira the Darks in the side deck. The card destruction is going to be in side deck with no Night Ass. Maybe I don't know when you bring that in, maybe against Burn or maybe against Warriors or something like that. You have the double Minecon, triple Sakuretsu, another Regeki Break, and a Mystic Walk. Okay, solid Turbo deck. Solid player, though. Don't copy. I mean, if you guys try this deck, I say you do copy. Ba-doom-ps. go ahead, you copy it. But again, this deck seems like it's going to require a little bit of this doesn't seem like the easiest deck to use. And I know I might just be, I don't know. This deck seems like has a high misplay factor. You got to come with some skills. You want to play a deck like this. A lot of just looking at it, at least from my perspective. But solid deck either way. Shout out to Don't Copy for your 2 invites and a 5th place topping finish. All right, coming on in 4th place. 4th place, we have the return winner playing this nasty burn. Okay, this is that gross, grotesque burn again. Oh my goodness, the chain energy burn. And I was cheering for this duelist so much. I'm cheering for the burn strategy so much. I've had a complete 180 on my take for burn and GOAT format. I used to hate burn. I used to hate seeing it. I hate seeing it being played. I don't like it. I don't like playing against it. But now I realize how important this deck is to our format. And I'm so glad when I see people playing burn and having success with burn and encouraging more people to play burn, because turbo is just too prevalent. Turbo to me is, I'd rather play burn than playing turbo. And if I see more burn players, I think I enjoy my odds more. And it forces people to play cards that aren't anti-turbo cards, anti-warrior cards. So seeing them coming on in, I think is good. Unfortunately, they've gotten so close so many times and just haven't been able to make it past that threshold to get on in. But damn, man, this deck is gross, and it's consistent and it's good. Chain Energy is such a good card. We saw him a few times on stream, just completely neutralizing what the opponent can do because they just don't have enough life points to play a single card. It can get aggressive. We saw when that giant rat is doing that 1400 damage, or if you have the breaker, it's doing that 1600 damage. I'm pretty sure this deck is going to win that game, no matter what the situation is, because that's just any time you're doing damage that's not in the form of a spell or trap, you're going to have a little bit more success. So he's got the pandas, he's got the rats, you guys know the vibes. He's got the jars, he's got the big shield in there, and in the side deck you got the 2 Nox, 2 Mine. You just got to have it. You got the mirror, torrential. I think those are good curveballs, and you have the triple kinetic. I think that's a good call too, because the warriors are everywhere, and I still believe that warriors are going to be your worst matchup in this burn deck. So having a ton of cards for warriors, I think, is probably the way to go. Amazon's Archer is going to stay in the side deck too for the mirror. Pretty clean deck, pretty cool. Again, huge shout out to Return Winner. Go check out his YouTube channel. A lot of it's going to be in German, but he does do English content as well. Check him out and go over there and show him some love and some support, and hopefully they can have a breakthrough. I know it's got to be frustrating. It's got to be frustrating to make it this close so many times and not get there. But still, it's going to be what it is. But moving on to 3rd place, we have the Duelist Grace. And this is one right here. Oh my goodness. I could spend 45 minutes talking about this deck easily. I could spend 45 minutes to an hour talking about this deck, but what I might have to end up doing is getting Grace to come by and just like, maybe we can talk about it together or play a couple of matches with it or something, just so he can talk about it, because this is his deck. And also he is on YouTube as well at Grace YouTube. Go over there and check it out. Maybe he'll do some videos about it. I think this deck is so cool, man. And just having and it's really inspirational for me to see a deck like this have success in GOAT format, because it's a deck that people will be like, oh, that can't, you got to play Warriors, you got to play Turbo, you have to do this, or you're not going to win, you got to play GOAT Control. Well, someone's playing a fairy deck, and not just any fairy deck, just a light, like a pure light fairies in GOAT format in 2023, and it's having success. I think that is great for our format, and I think it's great for our game. And just having the bravery to get out there and do that is also going to be something that is admirable. So he's coming on in. He's got the Saturn. He's got the balls. He's got the Shining Angel. He's got the, everything about this deck just kind of, it can be very aggressive. It can kind of get into its control bag a little bit with those creature swaps, and you can kind of slow down if you need to. But I think this deck at its core is a very aggressive deck. You come out, you slam the Saturn, you put the balls on the table. They might be able to kill one, or they won't. They'll T-set back into you, and now you just Borg over with a ball, and you're punching in for so much damage. I think that is such a power play. You're doing anytime you can do like over 3/4 of their health in one swing on the second turn. It's hard to come back from that. Even Turbo being a very consistent, fast deck, it takes a while for them to set up, get their graveyard set up. It's going to take more than a turn or two. And if you can come on in and you can establish the board turn 2, and you're attacking directly with massive damage turn 2, they can most of the time they can only T-set again, or they can, tribe or something like that, which is probably their best play, and it's not much they can do. And shout out to Grace for hooking this up and playing this thing. Got freed in the main deck, all light monsters. I think it's dope. I think it's dope. In the side deck, you got the dust shoots in there. Got BLS chilling in the side. They can bring that guy in just to throw more curveballs. You got these Zombiras in there in the Book of Light, Book of Moon, and Royal Decree. So huge congrats to Grace for a third place finish. Maybe they can push this thing over the edge and get to a first place finish and get an invite as well. All right. Huge shout out to Grace. Go check out his YouTube channel. All right, moving on. We have Fancy Diesel, the teenage weasel, man. Oh, coming on in second place. Oh, second place, man. This duelist is very talented. Very talented Yu-Gi-Oh player in a multitude of different formats, playing the Chaos Turbo strategy, doing a little spice, kind of digging into the fresh IRL bag. He just won with Mind Crush, and Fancy's like, you know what, I see you, and I'm going to raise you to Mind Crush. So going full crush shoot in this event in Chaos Turbo. This deck looks like it's built for the mirror quite well with the dust shoots and the Mind Crushes. No Mind Con in the main deck, just keeping one copy of that in the side deck. Monster lineup seems pretty standard, electing to cut. What got cut? Something got cut. I can't see Tsukiyomi there. Oh, just dropping down One Night Ass probably for that Mind Crush, and that's going to be the deck. I think it's solid. I don't hate it. Mind Crush is another card that might be sneaky sleeper good in this metagame too. Even we saw it have great effect against Warriors. They go Rhoda for Blade Knight, Mind Crush to Blade Knight. And it's just, you're still getting value with it game one. I don't know if you keep it in going game two. That might not, I don't know if that's the play or not. But maybe you could. Theoretically, you could, because there's always going to be opportunities to know something. And I think I've seen either this duel, I might have missed it, but I saw this duel just stone cold, just YOLO BLS one time. Just Mind Crush, hit the BLS, and get it out of their hand. And I think that's just cool that you can have the opportunity to do that. Putting that thing in the graveyard, don't have to worry about it anymore. Again, super solid Chaos Turbo deck. In the side deck, very standard side deck Chaos Turbo stuff. You guys know the vibes already. That's what it's going to be. But Mind Crush might be a little sleeper pick that if you have some issues, maybe that's something you could try out. Taking that trap does shoot meta to the next level, introducing some Mind Crush in the meta game. All right, and for our first place winner, huge shout out to Fancy Diesel. Can keep playing, keep locking in, man. Maybe it can happen. If it don't, what I'm saying, I can't say enough good things about what Fancy Diesel and his game and his personality as a human being in our community. So just keep playing, man. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't, but maybe it will. You never know. All right, but coming on in first place, speaking of making it happen, things that keep believing. This is what I'm talking about. I keep saying, hey, it can happen. It can happen. It can happen. It can happen. Anything can happen. Staying positive, staying motivated, keep going. Don't give up. Keep going. Drive on. Hey, keep pushing. And this duelist keeps pushing. He won't stop. He's relentless. He's always on the ladder. He's always in the tournaments. He's always playing. He's always grinding. He's always going. And he just don't stop. And that's going to be Dueling High 101. Say what you will about the Master Reactor, but you're going to say it to him in the Go Format World Championship, because that's where he's going to be, as he is qualified by playing the Warrior strategy. Typically, this duelist is going to be all in on Turbo, playing Turbo. But he's like, you know what? I'm sick of these damn Warriors. They've been bashing me on the head event after event after event. I'm jumping in and I'm playing some Warriors as well. So Dueling High loaded up the bucket and came on in and got the dub playing the Warrior strategy. Very standard, very salt and pepper, up and down, back and forth Warriors. There's nothing to write home about at all in the main deck. Maybe this Zombira in that Book of Moon mained, and two trap does shoot mained, could be something like, okay, that's a little something different. Double Kaiku, maybe that's something different. But again, very, very standard Warrior. In the side deck, he kind of sticking to the triple spy, double Mobius, Brain Con package. Reaper Faith find themselves in the side deck. So it looks like he can almost convert to like a flip Warrior kind of situation post side, bringing in no new traps. Triple Saku is going to be in that main deck, so you're kind of hedging for Warriors in the game one. And then in the side deck, you can probably bring in some Mind Cons and some spies and stuff to face off against Chaos Turbo. Solid warrior deck, solid player, and I'm happy that Dueling High finally broke through, man. Broke through. Seeing that breakthrough, seeing people get rewarded for their hard work is always going to be something that motivates me as a, not only as a duelist or as a content creator, but just as a person, man. I seeing people work hard and getting their just desserts is motivational. But that's all I got, man. I just wanted to kind of show you guys these decks real quick, as I often do. The season is coming to an end. There are a few more events that are happening. Get on the website, check those out. We have some last chance qualifiers. We have a PWCQ that's going to be on October the 8th. So if you want to play in that event, go ahead and be there or be square. If you want to have your invitation to the GOAT Format World Championship, that's going to be one of the last PWCQs. And then we're going to have 3 last chance qualifiers. And then we have the GOAT Format World Championship. So I hope to see you all there. As always, I'm JDZ. I play GOATs. Shout out to the real one. Salute to the OGs. Peace.